WWE Superstar Seth Rollins has just sat down here on the Rich Eisen Show, set at the Super Bowl experience, Super Bowl 57. Good to see you, sir. That's the real thing.
Is that real?
It is there.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
It is.
I kind of feel that gives me like goosebumps a little bit.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's a Lombardi trophy, dude.
That is, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, Seth, I know we've just met, but let me just say this. This is the way I roll. When I come to the Super Bowl, I have the Vince Lombardi trophy right next to me.
Respect.
It's like my running mate. You know what I mean?
Respect.
It's my tag team partner.
That's a beautiful
if
thing.
you will. So this is the way I roll.
That's cool.
Have you ever?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
Never seen it in person. I've seen. I've gone to Chicago Bears headquarters, and they've got the one in there.
They do have the one.
The one. Ugh. The one. And so I've seen it in a glass case.
Yes.
I haven't seen it right here in person in living color, and I see my own reflection. It's beautiful.
Cool is that, right?
It's gorgeous, dude. It's a thing of beauty.
It is the real
I've held WWE championships many times, and it is comparable to that.
It is that. And apparently the only people who can touch it without gloves are those who win it and the commissioner handing it out to people. We do have like some white gloves, I think, that's in the compartment if you want to
I'm okay. I feel like I'm not worthy to touch it if I haven't won it. So
interesting.
Staring at it, I feel good about this. I just being in the presence of it. There's like an aura about it, you know. That's amazing.
So you're from Illinois? Is that
from Iowa?
You're from Iowa?
Yeah, Davenport, Iowa. We don't have a professional sports team in the state, and so for football we pick and choose a little bit. Most of us Bears fans, Packers. We get some Chiefs fans, some Vikings, stuff like that. But I'd say primarily a Chicago Bears area.
How did you choose the Bears?
My grandpa. My grandfather watched the Bears every Sunday, yelling at the TV, and that was me. I drifted a bit in the mid-'90s, obviously.
So did the Bears.
Yeah. But there's a reason for the drifting.
Yes.
So I was a big 49ers guy. Rice, Montana, Steve Young, those guys.
Montana was in that chair an hour ago.
God, wow, man.
Timing's everything.
I was a Niners fan, then drifted back to Chicago to my roots, and so I stuck with them.
Was there a player from the Bears that drew you back in, or a specific, or coach?
Gosh,
was it the Lovey?
Yeah,
years
the Lovey.
That left you back?
Devin Hester was probably the first guy that sucked me back in.
Let me tell you, man, Devin Hester, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
100%.
And Devin Hester, in terms of the history of the Super Bowl, is certainly the ones that I've attended. This is my 20th covering it for NFL Network, Seth. I don't recall anybody meeting the moment expected of him quite like Devin Hester when he was in the Super Bowl. We all knew he was going to receive a kickoff at some point, whether it was after the opposition scored or for the kickoff a half, and it was the first kickoff of the game.
Opening, I remember vividly.
And I thought to myself, they're going to kick this thing through the end zone. There's no question about it.
Got to.
And then this moment unfolds.
There it is.
Boom. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I cannot believe he just did that, because we were all expecting him to do it.
Yeah.
And then he did it.
Dude, unreal, right?
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, and when you watch it back, obviously I've seen the replays recently over the past few days on social media. It's just, there's a cut in there that it's like he saw kickoff coverage like no one else has ever done it. There's a cut in there. He sees a scene.
Like the Matrix, right?
Yeah, and he's just gone, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, it really was like time would slow down. He had the Neo effect on him. Remember the bullets? That's how he was with the other guys on the field. So it's unbelievable. And I remember thinking, oh, we're winning the Super Bowl. We're in, baby.
And then Peyton Manning got the ball?
Yeah, and then prime Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison took over, and we didn't stand a chance.
Right, and then if I'm not, there was Dominique Rhodes who had a heck of a game too, because Peyton Manning, if you've seen on his Manning cast, he'll always tell you that quarterbacks you can't go broke making a profit, so you just keep dinking it if that's the way that the cover two defense.
That's what they gave him. Yeah,
that's it, and he just took it.
He carved him up. Yeah, I remember. And we had no offense that season. I mean, we were an elite level defense in the return game, but we were making our money off of turnovers and special teams, and so our offense just couldn't do anything. Freeney, who is Mathis, Freeney and Mathis, they were just pushing our offensive line around, putting pressure on him.
Going for Rex?
Sexy Rexy. So it was, we weren't doing nothing there. So, but I thought, oh, we get a special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
That we got this. But yeah, it was he just carved up the cover 2 the whole time.
WWE Superstar Seth Rollins is here on the Rich Eisen Show. Wrestlemania 39 is going to go Hollywood, taking place across the street from NFL Network for 2 nights on Saturday, April 1st and Sunday, April 2nd from SoFi Stadium. We'll talk about that in a second. I would ask you what you think of the current Chicago Bears, but I see you on Twitter. Do we have these for Seth to review some of these tweets? There they are, right there on the screen. Actually, we'll get it behind us as well. It's just basically, I love football, or I hate football. Refs stink. That's a good one. Bears stink. Refs stink. This is after each one.
Yeah.
So when they lose, you hated football for many weeks in a row.
Yeah, there was a big stretch of me disliking football on Sundays. It was a hard year to be a Bears. I will say this, though.
Yes.
We've had a lot of losing seasons in Chicago. This one was the most enthusiastic because of Justin Fields.
I agree.
And looking at, I mean, we got a gift from the football gods in Week 18.
Well, not the football gods. It was Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith doing us one last solid, man. Unreal, right? I couldn't believe it. And so landing at number 1 overall, I mean, it's unbelievable. We've got a lot of picks and we've got a lot of cap space and a lot of room to improve because we have a lot of needs.
Yes.
So I'm very optimistic for the future of the franchise. You look at the development of Fields and where he could go.
Yes.
I think someone like a Jalen Hurts is somebody
No
who
doubt.
you go, okay, we can do that. Do we have the coaching staff in place? Are we going to have the personnel the next 2 seasons to be able to do that? Time will tell. But there's optimism in Chicago for the first time in a very long time. I'd say probably since the Nagy rookie year where we went to the playoffs under Trubisky. But that was based on defense. I think we haven't had a QB1 like this that really set the city on fire.
I agree with you.
In years.
And he's here. He's a second-hour guest on our show tomorrow, Justin Fields. And I'm going to ask him what I'm going to ask you right here about the conversation that the Bears, thanks to Lovie, going out on his sword, and winning that last game for the Texans, and the Bears are now first overall. They can have a pick of any young quarterback out there that they want and flip Fields for yet more draft choices, start the clock again with their quarterback because, as you know, having a quarterback win on the first contract, you can build around better with a salary cap room. What do you want the Bears to do?
I think I don't trade Fields. I think based on what I've seen, we keep him around. And you got to look at the season last year. He had nothing, right? He had no weapons to work with. There were a lot of injuries, but there was just nothing. The offensive line wasn't good. And he played really well. I think, obviously, and I assume he'll tell you, they've got a ton of work to do in the passing game.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's going to see the potential in himself that I think a lot of the Bears fans see in him to be able to get that done if we get the pieces in place. And so I think we're in a great spot. I don't trade him. I think you have as much equity in a number 1 pick, trading that down if you want to, because we don't need a quarterback one, as you would trading this guy who is a fan favorite in the city. He sells tickets. He moves people in a way that you want your quarterback to move people. And so I think let's try to build around him. And I know this regime didn't draft him, and that's always tricky.
Yeah.
But, God, it felt good this year to lose 14 games. And how often can you say that?
He was dynamite. He was dynamite. Do you play fantasy, Seth Rollins?
I do.
What fantasy league are you in?
I play in a Sling fantasy league. Michael Fabiano has a league with Sling football, and he.
That's shocker that Fabs is involved with wrestling.
Fabs, he's a big wrestling fan.
So there's no WWE fantasy league?
We have a separate one as well. So I play the charity one, and then there's a WWE league.
So let's be honest, the charity one is wonderful. I'm sure you give a lot and you give some time, but just like the charity league that I'm in, there's really another one I really want to win.
Yeah.
I imagine the WWE one. That's the one.
That's
for you.
the one, yeah, because I see those guys every week.
Who's
and
in it?
And I
Who
want
else is in it?
Oh God, who plays in that one? I don't know if there's anybody off the top of my head who'd jump off the page to you. There's no like.
You're the only superstar in it.
No. I mean, they're all superstars, but we have like a mix of referees and producers, match producers, behind the scenes people. So it's a little bit of a conglomerate there.
You can't have one of the refs say I beat Seth Rollins in a fantasy
Look,
league.
I'm not gonna brag. I won the fantasy league this season. I was the champion. But
what does one get?
There's in dispute. Well, there's a couple of bucks. It's, a little bit of money.
What do you mean in dispute?
Well, because
not like Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham dispute, right? I mean, nothing like that.
Because of the Damar Hamlin tragedy. That really screwed up a lot of fantasy leagues.
Yes, I know that.
So ours was no different. I went into the final week having, I think it was Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon in that game. But I was behind by like maybe 25 points or so.
So why don't you just use them from the final game and you apply the stats? That's what we did in our league.
Yeah, so we didn't do that. We decided, but we decided what we would do is we were just going to split it. We were going to be even.
Okay.
We were going to split it. We were going to go halvesies.
Okay.
But then we had some button pushers within the league that were like, oh, who wants to be a co-champion? Have some guts. And they were like, at this point, it was the last game of the season, which was the Packers and the Lions.
Yes, sir.
And so they were like, why don't you just bet on the game straight up? And I was like, wow, we could just go you know what? Screw it. I'm going all in. I'll take the underdog. I took the Lions.
Of course you're not going to go take the Packers.
I took the funny thing is, the guy I was playing against, he's also a Bears fan.
Oh.
So I thought, I'm doing him a service by taking the underdog, and the Lions had nothing to play for, right? The Packers win and they're in. The Lions were already out. Didn't matter. So I'm like, well, who cares? I got whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And so it was a double win for me to see Green Bay get knocked out of the playoffs. If Aaron Rodgers just gets smushed to pieces, and then I get the win in the fantasy league. So it was a big double whammy for me. I felt so good coming out of the season, and the Bears had the #1 pick. Oh, what a way to end the year!
Fantastic. Seth Rollins here on the Rich Eisen Show. Talk to me about WrestleMania 39, going to be at SoFi. What a spot. Have you been to SoFi? Have you been there yet?
Man, have I. I went to the opening game there of the season.
What a spot.
Unbelievable, dude.
Isn't it?
It's so beautiful. It's
you
indoors.
Up on that Oculus, doing your thing is going to be nuts.
We had a press conference there to announce WrestleMania sometime last year, and we had a ring set up, and we invited some fans and stuff like that. Were you there for that?
I was there for that.
Yeah, wasn't that awesome?
It was the first time I was in SoFi, actually.
Dude, it was same for me.
I won't go to football games, but I'm coming.
Come to a WrestleMania press conference.
You will.
But it was, dude, it's so much fun. I can't wait. We're going to pack that thing 2 nights in a row. We're going to have, I think right now we've already got 50,000 plus sold for both nights. So it's going to be huge. Once you get the set in there, the stage in there, it's going to be special, man. I got, Ozzy Osbourne did his one of his final concerts there for that week 1 game, and I just had visions of what it's going to feel like inside there. WrestleMania is special, man. It's a special deal, and so I'm stoked. SoFi's going to be a great location for it.
So if you have visions, who are you in the ring with?
I don't know, man.
Come on, you don't know right now.
No,
like, literally
I don't.
Like you're like Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to go in some.
I'm not going to go on a darkness retreat. No, I got to do Monday Night Raw in Brooklyn this week, so I got to work. Right, some of us can't afford to spend 4 days in the dark. But WrestleMania is crazy, man, because it's so much in flux.
Right.
It's not like a scripted television show that Game of Thrones say where it's shot a year in advance and then it's all done. Everything happens in real time, and you don't know what the fans are going to want, and you don't know about injuries, and so the card is in flux at all times. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I'm Seth freaking Rollins. You can't have a WrestleMania this day and age without me. People want to be there singing my song, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know who's going to be in the ring opposite me. Either way, it's going to be exciting.
You do not know.
I do not know.
Is it possible you go in the ring and you find out, or no?
So that was last
Funny
year.
you say that, Rich.
That was last year, Rich. Last year, WrestleMania, I didn't have opponent until the night of. I got in the ring. Cody Rhodes' music hit, and we were off to the races. And now Cody Rhodes is going to main event WrestleMania this year
that's right.
Against either Roman Reigns or Sami Zayn, depending on who wins the title match at Elimination Chamber in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's pro wrestling for you, man. It's the one thing that sets us apart from any other sort of entertainment. You just never know what could happen.
And tickets currently on sale via Ticketmaster. Both nights stream live on our former home in Peacock at 8 Eastern Time. Wrestlemania 39. You got a prediction for Super Bowl 57, Seth?
Dude, I think it's so evenly matched.
It is.
I think on paper the Eagles should win this game. Their offensive line, their defensive line,
They're beasts.
Unreal. And
Yes.
I think in the trenches is where most games are won
Yeah.
and lost. But we're talking about a generational talent in Pat Mahomes
Yes.
and Travis Kelce. So it could go either way. I think my gut tells me Philly's going to win this game.
Okay.
I think it's going to be close, though. I predicted earlier a 3-point game, and I'm probably sticking with that. I think it's a field goal separator.
Beautiful. Thanks for coming on. This is a blast, man.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I love it.
Of course.
Thanks for letting me just jump on, too, right in the middle.
Oh,
I
no,
apologize for
it's
my
all good.
tardiness.
What we kind of have a budding tradition here on the Rich Eisen Show when we have a Bears fan. Ashton Kutcher did this. I forget who else we've had do this. You are a diehard Bears fan. It is good luck, and you also feel better about yourself when you just from right down deep in your innards scream out the word Eberflus at the top of your lungs.
Oh, okay.
Because we just can't get enough of his name. Here we go. If you just prepare yourself, Seth Rollins, have at him.
Eberflus!
Wow. I mean,
How do you feel? Do you feel better?
I do feel good. I'm ready to take on the second half of this day. Let's go, baby. Let's go!
And you're right next door to the trophy, too. This is great.
Come to me. Come home to me. Come to Chicago. We need another one, please. We need another one.
talk nice to
Yeah,
us.
we do have people talk to the trophy frequently.
Like
so.
I said, there's an aura. It's alive, man. It's a real thing, you know? It's like a tree in the woods. It's alive, baby. There's an energy.
And it makes a noise when you're not around.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.